Hi, I'm Geoff McGhee. I work at the Bill Lane Center for the American West. We're an interdisciplinary research center at Stanford University. Tonight I want to talk about some of the journalism projects we've worked on and why I think that news organizations should work with research centers like ours more. I used to work in online news, New York Times, ABC News, Le Monde, doing information graphics, data visualization, multimedia. Data viz was really the sticky wicket because I didn't really have the skills for doing it in depth. A very computational thing. So I was very lucky to get a Knight Fellowship to go to Stanford for a year and study GIS, stats, web programming, but also to look at the work that was being done out there and really think about it and meet the people who were doing stuff that I respected so much. So I spent a good part of the year interviewing people in news, in research, in art, and talking to them about how they told stories through data visualization and what the future of this format was. And I turned it into a documentary called Journalism in the Age of Data. But at the same time, I was getting to know things like digital humanities, the kind of exciting stuff that people are doing in university research centers. Things like Orbis, where you can book travel in the Roman Empire, or Kindred Britain, where you can see how Shakespeare, Winston Churchill, and the lead singer of Coldplay, Chris Martin, are all connected. This is my first digital humanities project. This is a visualization of 300 years of American newspapers, sort of a history of American journalism in about 15 steps or so. And that was my first project with the Bill Lane Center. I was just getting to know them at the time, as sort of a practice project. David Kennedy and Richard White, two historians at Stanford who started the center with support from the Bill Lane family, their publishers of Sunset Magazine. So there's a media connection there. But they wanted to use digital tools as a way of enhancing scholarship, but also finding new audiences for the research that we were doing. Because we have a big canvas. We're looking at the western part of North America. That's the US, Mexico, and Canada. Past, present, and future. Economy, environment, history, and culture. And using digital tools to make this all come alive. So one of my first projects after I started working them as a job was, this is again newspapers, 180 years of Texas newspapers. This is a text mining operation where we basically analyzed the text and looked at the most commonly occurring topics, people, places, and organizations. This is a journalism project we did. This is a documentary about the energy boom in western North Dakota, we did with John McChesney, who used to be NPR. This is an annotated video player we developed to go with it. We're also looking at new story forms. Not that comic books are necessarily the newest thing in the world, but this is about land fallowing, about farmers who sell their water to urban water districts in exchange for money, and how it affects the communities that are left behind. But we publish these on our own sites, but frequently we try to work with media partners. We've worked with KQED Public Media, with Texas Tribune, with High Country News, which is a wonderful environmental newspaper in Colorado. We work with them partly for audience. We want to reach as many people as we can. But also because I think that collaboration between research institutes like ours and journalists is natural. We share the same values, the search for truth, transparency, and accountability, whether it's called peer review or editing, good storytelling, and maybe a little bit of ego, too. We want to get our stuff out there, right? Got some line breaks going on there. So we give grants to journalists to come work with us for a couple weeks, work with me. We try to produce something interactive, innovative, hopefully, out of it. For example, we did a project with Lauren Summer from KQED that looked at, the research was done by another institution, the San Francisco Estuary Institute. They looked at 150 years of the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta, which is a very messed up ecosystem right now. But they were trying to reconstruct what it looked like 150 years ago so that we could imagine how we might restore it. So it was partly to explain what historical ecology is. But the other thing was we really worked with these scientists as partners, not just as sources. They shared authorship in this. And that's really kind of the model we're looking for. And now let's have another slide. Thank you. Okay, so what we look for is things that really fit in our wheelhouse in terms of economic development of the West, the changing environment, and the inability of our political systems to act on this because we're divided into 3 countries and 11 states. But we're also looking for ways to develop new tools. This is something called EcoWest, where we're trying to take environmental data from public data sources, government NGOs, and turn it into dashboards. But you can pull out these modules from the dashboards. This is 10 years of wildfires, and you can plug them into your own website. It's responsive design, so it adapts to the layout, and so you can see animations of every wildfire in the past 10 years that we've scraped off of government sites. We're going to do a lot more drought, biodiversity, climate change. I'm pretty excited about this. It's going to be a lot of work, but I think it'll be pretty useful. So anyway, the point I want to leave you with is I'm really interested in looking for media fellows who want to come work with us on great stories and make a connection between academia and journalism. Thanks a lot.